There appears to have been a bit of a showdown at the Beanie compound. During the discussion with rapper R.A. the Rugged Man, right-wing YouTuber Tim Pool flew into a rage because apparently he is very, very oppressed. Take a look.
The airport, they're not pulling you over because they
No, that's bull.
They pull you over?
Yes.
Because you look like what? Because you
yes,
look like
motherfucker.
What do you look like?
I get randomly flagged every time I go to the airport. See, you're.
Because what reason?
The I know.
Because you look like what?
I know, dude.
You really heard
Yeah, because I get every single time I go, and you are a racist dude who says I couldn't possibly understand every time I go to the airport. I'm randomly screened.
Yeah.
I think it's the
every time. Every time. I go to the UK, they put 4 S's.
What are you screaming for?
I'm screaming because
what? Because you're hurt that you're a white boy?
I'm hurt because you're a racist.
Yeah.
I get flagged every time at the airport. I have no idea why. Why do you have to laugh at me? Why are you being so racist right now? Wow. Wow. What's ironic about this whole exchange is that he is literally doing what he says the left does. It's projection. Of course. Of course. Call everybody a racist if they disagree with you. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Look, I'm not buying his story because if true, you would actually have an understanding and maybe some empathy towards the black community. They get racially profiled by police. The Muslim community gets regularly racially profiled by police. They get stopped at the airports because people would assume that they're terrorists. That's it. And so the fact that he does not put 2 and 2 together, well, I mean, tells me he's either making this entire thing up, being stopped at the airport, or he's just incapable of realizing what minorities actually go through all the time in this country. Now, for me, people like me, I went to the airport. I didn't get stopped for a screening. Maybe Tim Pool gets stopped because he's on some sort of list. I don't know. Maybe. Now, honestly, if he is on a list, that's kind of problematic. And I'm being honest with you. There have been stories of random Americans being put on these no-fly lists and watch lists and things like that. And it's very, very difficult to get off those lists, even if you haven't done anything wrong. So if Tim Pool is on a list for some BS reason, well, obviously that's not good. I will disagree with that, and I'll be like, hey, don't randomly flag Tim Pool. He's an idiot, but he's harmless, basically. At least when it comes to the airport. As far as rhetoric goes, maybe not so harmless. But nonetheless, right? You shouldn't be randomly flagged or put on a list. It doesn't matter if you're Muslim or black or Latino, whatever. You shouldn't be put on a list unless there's probable cause, right? Now, that said, there's a lot of assumptions here. And these assumptions are based on the word of Tim Pool, which I would not, at least in my opinion, he is not exactly a trustworthy source of information or analysis. I think that there's an agenda when it comes to Tim Pool, and that agenda is to pipeline people into the right wing. And he does so by, of course, promoting himself as some sort of sensible moderate. But believe me, there's nothing sensible about the stuff that he talks about. Oh, no, but you understand, I'll have conversations with anybody. I mean, I'll bring Vosh on my show, and then I'll agree with like half the stuff that he says. And then later on, completely forget that I forgot that I agreed to these things and go back to pushing people down the alt-right pipeline. Now, of course, the next video that I show you, RA was not going to suffer BS. And so it gets a little heated in this next clip. Things got real.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great. $100,000 budget. Yeah. James Baldwin interviews with people on the ground to talk about what they've been through. And you have the nerve to come up to me and tell me my experiences don't matter when I'm fighting the fight.
Stop screaming, bitch. Stop screaming, first of all. Talk to me like I'm because I'm not that guy.
Yeah,
Talk
you are.
normal.
You are. You actually are, dude. Yeah. You are that guy.
I'm talking about I'm not that guy to fucking scream at, bitch. You want to get fucked up? Huh?
All right.
What the fuck you screaming at, bitch?
Let's calm down.
You gotta cut it, man.
You think you can?
I'm not that guy. You don't disrespect me, bitch.
What did you do to me?
You start raising your voice to me like I'm some sucker.
Did you laugh at me?
Bitch. Yeah, laugh.
Did you disrespect me? I was nice to you, bro. I was being nice.
You start raising your voice to me like I'm your son, bitch.
You raise your voice to me? Bro, I said
I raised my voice.
I respected you.
You wouldn't shut the
I
fuck up with
appreciated
that
you.
raising your voice shit.
I stopped when you told me to. You said lower your voice, so I lowered my voice. I told you I respected you coming. It was a good show. I said I respected you willing to admit when you got things wrong. Bro, I have put so much of my life into this. Look at this.
I watch your videos.
I
already watched your video. No, I see your videos.
You don't.
No, I see your video. Yeah, you're gonna say, look, this is the non-racist thing. But meanwhile, you have videos promoting Derek Chauvin and acting like he was in the right. You have videos of that. You have videos of the other guy. You have videos of the other. You have videos of the other guy.
Two guys.
Armory. And you go, oh, but they grabbed the pistol, defending them, killing a black man in the streets, and he ran for them and giving excuses.
Two guys.
You have these videos, so all of this shit doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, of course not.
A decade of work doesn't matter.
No,
because
because lives were lost by police, and you were there bootlicking the fucking cops.
I think we should abolish the police.
Whoa! I didn't hear that one coming. Right at the end there. Oh yeah, you know what? We should abolish the police. What? Wait, what? All right, but we'll address that in a couple of minutes. But first, let me just say that, wow, that was one way to get your point across. Wasn't it? Now, look, I don't think Tim Pool was ready for that reaction, because immediately, as soon as the guy stood up and was like, I'm about ready to throw down. That's when things calm down a little bit. Now, look, I wouldn't react the same way. I'm actually a very calm person. I'm much too calm. But obviously, this got very, very heated. And so, very interesting, right? And look, honestly, this is the most animated that I've ever seen Tim Pool. Huh. So, but anyway, substance, right? So now they're talking about police shootings, basically, because that's what they talk about in the show. Tim Pool desperately takes the pro-police position, which is interesting, and maybe less the pro-police position, and more of the anti-Black Lives Matter, anti-Antifa, that right there, okay? And so that narrative, and by the way, Rugged Man brings up Ahmaud Arbery and Derek Chauvin. So now, the right-wing narrative on Ahmaud Arbery was that he was a criminal, and that he was jogging or running away from a crime, and that these fine, upstanding citizens, the McMichaels, came and stopped a robbery in progress, and stopped this terrible person with long, dirty toenails from terrorizing their community. You know how many thefts were in that community? 1. And that's when the McMichaels had kept their car unlocked. And again, I'm not excusing crime, right? Crime bad. But there's, again, no evidence that Ahmaud Arbery had committed a crime in that neighborhood. None at all. Again, he was just jogging. He was out there running. And they said, well, black guy, obviously. It's sus. Very, very sus. Got to go chase him down with our guns. And so, come on. And by the way, what happened afterwards, after the shooting of Ahmaud Arbery, is that the police had come, obviously, and police were like, oh, we take your word for it 100%. Oh, yes, you say it's self-defense. You say that you were doing citizen's arrest, but totally fine. Be on your way. Be on your way. Now, the outrage came because, well, this wasn't even investigated for over 70 days. And so you had no justice for Ahmaud Arbery at all until the video of the shooting had gone out. And again, the right-wing narrative is, well, he did something wrong. He had it coming. And so obviously these poor white gentlemen were just doing their job. How dare you? How dare you go and attack these people, these fine, upstanding patriots? As far as Chauvin goes, they say that George Floyd had it coming. Well, he should have followed orders. He should have done that. So you know the narrative already. And they also said, well, Floyd did not die because of the knee on his neck. No, he died because of drugs. That's what it was. And look, there are videos up on Tim Pool's YouTube channel, one of his many YouTube channels, that said that. Like, oh, his death wasn't a homicide and all that reporting. So, all right. But basically, we know that the right wing, in the right wing, basically they say that if you're shot by police, if you're black, it's your fault. No matter what the circumstances are, it's your fault. Now, we know that the world doesn't work that way. Again, there is nuance, there's understanding, and generally, we don't agree that a police officer should shoot unarmed black people. That should be a minimum standard that the police should abide by. Unfortunately, they don't. And again, there are some situations where police do have the right to self-defense because, you know, they have the right to respond with deadly force if someone is using or attempting to use deadly force against them. Fine, we give the police the ability and the training to be able to make that distinction. But it seems like too often than not, you have training that reinforces that even if you're not in real danger, if you are scared, if you even perceive that you might be in a tiny little bit of danger, well then you should just be able to open up and light everything on fire. And so that's not a good situation. We don't want that in our policing. We actually want police that do what they're supposed to do, solve crimes and protect the community. But again, that's not the narrative on the right. So now, again, I went and looked at some of the videos that Tim Pool put up. And so I just want to share a little bit with that. Just scrolling his YouTube feed for just a few seconds. So there's Tim Pool's website, right? And so you can see that, oh, not a homicide. This is just a search on Chauvin. Obviously, Tim Pool's going to shit on the left. Okay, that's fine. That's his perspective, right? Well, whatever. And Obama, and Biden and Democrats, and that's fine, right? That's Chauvin. I actually couldn't find that many videos on Ahmaud Arbery, which is interesting. Now, look, and you've seen, the stuff that he did on Chauvin, right? Now, that said, Tim Pool's got multiple channels. Maybe he could have deleted some of those videos that R.A. Rugged Man had referenced, or not, of, Ahmaud Arbery, like, deserving it and whatever. I don't know. But I do know what the narrative was in the right. And I do know that Tim Pool acts as a gateway and a pipeline to bring people over to the right by really focusing on BLM, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and by the way, using a lot of sourcing from Andy Ngo, who's essentially a troll at this point that will make things up. And so they push that, and again, that has an effect. I mean, again, if you're talking about all of them, all the BLM are just dangerous rioters and all of that, it is interesting to see then that his response at the end of this was, I believe we should abolish the police. Really? Really? That is very, very curious. Because when did he come to that conclusion? Like, when did that happen? Because again, Tim Pool, very anti-BLM, very pro-police, it seemed like. Pro-Chauvin, even. So I don't know. I don't think there's any way that Tim Pool had turned into suddenly fuck the police. I don't get it. But, of course, to be fair, a lot of the right wing has turned on the FBI, CIA, and law enforcement agencies under Democrats. Now, my first thought on that is, well, yeah, good, okay. Well, I don't like the CIA. I don't like the FBI. Now, if you thought that some of the stuff that the CIA and the FBI were up to now is bad, wait till you hear about the CIA death squads in South America. Wait till you hear about the coup in Iran. Wait till you hear about the FBI trying to make Martin Luther King Jr. off himself, during civil rights. Wait till you hear about that stuff. Oh, right. But that's the thing about the right wing. They actually don't care unless it affects them. So, yeah, they can't handle the fact that, you know, the FBI is actually going against a little bit, in a little way, right-wing terrorists and insurrectionists. Going after the Capitol, you know, the January 6th Capitol rioters instead of left-wing groups. They can't handle that. They're very, very upset. Very upset. They cannot handle that. They also can't handle the fact that right now, white, extremely right-wingers have done more domestic terrorism and killed more people in this country than Muslims have since 9/11. Maybe that's why Tim Pool is being stopped. Maybe that's why. Or maybe it's the ridiculous beanie. I don't know. Hey, look, Tim, you're balding. I get it. I went bald at 25. I get it. It sucks. Just own it, just accept it. Trust me, you will be a lot happier if you just accept it and own it. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, you could also just be a journalist.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.